So most people think you need to get lucky to find crypto tokens that are 10x or even 100x. They think you have to be an insider or stare at charts 24/7, and that is completely wrong. This is pulled straight from one of my live trading streams in our private group, where I break down the exact system we use to find explosive tokens before they pump. The same system that helped one of our members turn $250 into over $250,000 in 4 months, and then turn that into over $1 million in 7 months. So by the end of this video, you'll have a complete blueprint to find these opportunities yourself without needing a ton of capital or experience. So this is the TradingView overall chart of XRP, going all the way back to 2017 here, where we had these very similar repeating patterns before the breakout. And here we are right now doing something very similar, and we'll probably do it again up here. But I think that this breakout right here, I don't know if it's going to be all the way to the end. That would be in line with the upward trending support. It's done that where it literally wound into, and if I do this way as an upward trending wedge, each time when we came to the point we broke out, and it just so happened to be over here, it just so happened to be right where the upward trending support line is, right here. And then here we are now. We're up here in this upward channel. And by the way, it's the same almost with everyone. Here, when we broke out, we came right up to the previous all-time high. And then we came down and hit support at the lower high and broke out to a new high. We consolidated in a bullish flag pattern, finally breaking out all the way up to $3.60 or so. And then we kind of consolidated and wound up and down into this apex all the way over here. Now, from this breakout here, 2017 to this breakout here, 2024, that's 6-7 years. That's a long time. But during that time, this was SEC litigation, court filings, delisting. XRP was going through a lot during that time. All of that got cleared here when they won the SEC battle. This was back in October 2024 when we were long in this group right here on this breakout. We had a big bet in the group, not a bet, but we were basically saying we were waiting for the SEC announcement as to whether they were going to settle or drop the charges or what. And we were thinking that if they got cleared and they won, this thing was going to shoot up to the moon. And if they didn't, it was going to drop below. And we had a tight stop loss here just in case. Then we got up here and we held. When we came back down for support, we held this level. I mean, we went up and reached the previous high, just like down here. We went up and reached the previous high. And then we came down to the lower high below that. Just like here, we went up and reached the previous high. And then we came down and held support on the lower high from the previous range. So we went up, hit the top, came back and held support on the previous lower high from the range. So doing something very similar. So this is a matter of time. Now, how long would it be until it got all the way to the end here? That would be like another year from, that would be the rest of this year. But that doesn't mean it has to wait that long. It's just recently that all of these new developments have been changing. All of these new laws and the Clarity Act and the Genius Act and all these things, crypto-friendly governments and, institutional grade investments and ETFs and all these things are coming about right now. So that could shorten the time span before the next parabolic move to the upside. So I would say sometime before the end of this. And, that would change this. And now if it does take until the end of this, you're looking at pretty much a year from now of just up and down motions. But that's only if it stays in this exact box of, holding this upward trending support. That may not be the case. In fact, maybe it will drop down and hit this line here. This could happen, guys, and that would be a big difference. Now, wouldn't it? Instead of having to wait all the way to this happening, we could just come down and hit this line somewhere in here, go sideways for the next month or so, boom, wick down, and that's it. Breakout. Because really, all we need is another touch point on this upward trending. It look like this one. Big wick down right before breaking out. Now, let's just look at the floor, where the floor was when that happened. If we put this right where the floor is, a couple wicks below the floor, big wick down, and then pop out. And where did it, after it came back up, came to the center line, boom. I'm not saying it's going to do exactly what it's done before, but when you look at repeating patterns, you have to say, okay, this is also likely to be the case this time. This is the downward trending channel I was just showing you, the possible 1, 2, 3, but we're still inside. This has not happened yet. This 3 could be over here somewhere. This 1 may not have happened yet. It could be when we wick down, all the way down somewhere over here when we could wick down to this line. I'll know where the 1, 2, and the 1 and the 2 is as soon as we break out of this channel. As soon as we break out of this channel, then I'll find the number 2 then, like this one, because it was here after the breakout of the downward trending channel. And then I just called this the 1 where we wicked the lowest before breaking out. Wherever we wicked the lowest right before the breakout, that's the 1. And then the breakout top is the 2 and the retest is the 3. Quick note, if you want to build serious wealth with a proven system, we actually coach a small group of people to become consistently profitable traders in 60 to 90 days or less, spending only 4 to 6 6 hours per week. We give you the trade signals, the live coaching, and the exact framework to get results like this. If you want to learn more, click the first link in the description. That said, let's get back to the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a parallel channel on here just so we can see what the center line is and bring that down. We are bouncing on the center line, which is kind of what I said the other day.
You can go down to the 10 minute, the 5 minute, the 3 minute. You can talk yourself into pretty much anything.
But I have this here because this is where I think we will break to when we do break. I just believe we're going to be in the $14 to $16 range on XRP. I went long here with a whole Bitcoin on the webinar last night. 88,000 contracts, which was equivalent to whole Bitcoin, but I was at 75x leverage. That's the power of leverage, guys. 75x leverage on this turns a 1.79% move in the market, 1.79 times 75 into a 134% gain. I am total transparency here. I am long 15x leverage XRP with 21,000 contracts, 1,020 XRP, almost $2,000, 1,995 times 13%, $259 times 15. Yeah, almost $4,000. Grady, we were just talking about River a minute ago. Appreciate it from $2 to $60 in the last month.
It's up 41% in less than a day.
It's 841% move to the upside. 10x leverage, guys, that would have been 8,000%. 20x leverage, 16,000%. Oh, I got a 21,366% gain on buying. That happens, guys. It happens if you get in the right time. Hey, guys, if you just go into up here and click on this and you look at the tokens on under USDT, scroll down and look at this green right here and just find an anomaly. Look at it. ACU, 140%. Let's look at it. Why? Just got listed on Phemex yesterday from 10 cents to 30 cents in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20 hours, about a day, overnight. Can you do that in the stock market? A lot of times also, guys, you're going to get notifications up here. Phemex will let you know when there's a brand new token added to the platform, and that might be a good time to go look at it. And as soon as it gets listed, sometimes they start to move.
Niko, I posted, there's a site I used to use, icodrops.com, and it just announces when new coins are coming on the market, who's backing it, and whatever thing, the wages are, helps.
There is no target because there is no price history, which means there is no roof. When it starts to go into 10, 15, 20% of profit, you move your stop loss to break even or into profit, and then you just let it run. I'm generating 5,000 a day, but I have 60 nodes. So it would take me a year, just for math purposes, times 365 days a year. That would be 1.89 million tokens at the end of 12 months. But right now, the current price is 0.002. You can see it right here. If I wanted to go buy $1.9 million worth of tokens right now, times 0.002 cents, it would only cost me $3,700. Now, some of you might be saying, well, why not just do that? Why even deal with nodes? You can do that. But I would recommend doing both because, and let's say it goes up to 5 cents. So you got 1.9 million of these things worth $3,700. You just paid for them. Let's just say 1.9 million, and it goes up to 0.05 cents. That's $95,000. And you sold them all. That would be a hell of a return for you. That would be 95,000 divided by the 3,700. That would be like a 25x. All right. But you would also have no more tokens, and the price would now be 5 cents and probably going up from there. Whereas if you get nodes, let's say like me, for instance, I have 60 nodes. In a year, I'll have 2 million tokens. But let's say I also go over to Coinstar and buy 2 million tokens for another $3,700 or $4,000, let's just say. And then we have that huge price appreciation up to 5 cents. I could sell the ones I bought and have a 25x, pull 100 grand back out, and still have my nodes minting 5,000 a day, let's just say. 5,000 a day times 0.05 cents. That's $250 a day, every day. That's $7,500 a month. Whereas if you just buy them and sell them when there's price appreciation, that's a one-time transaction. Let's say it goes up more. Let's say it goes up to $1. You got $2 million worth. You sell them all. That's it. You got $2 million. That's great. If I had my nodes and I had 2 million tokens and I sold them all, I would pull $2 million out. But the very next day, I would be minting $5,000 worth of tokens at $1 each. That's 150 grand a month that I will just keep earning every month. That's like printing money. So this is an ICO, guys, initial coin offering. This is like an IPO in the stock market where you're able to get shares of a stock before it goes public. Coinbase, but I have a feeling when it gets listed on Coinbase, it's not going to be 0.002 cents anymore. Now, if you move a large amount of money from crypto, like let's say you have a big sale, like let's say you just sell all your crypto in Coinbase and you got $1 million and you just transfer it to your personal savings or checking account, whatever account you have, you could have a problem. The bank could hold the funds or freeze it or question you. If you're sitting on a checking account with an average daily balance of $500 or less, and all of a sudden you got 700 grand coming in out of the blue, yeah, That could raise a red flag. But yes, if you use a business account, it's less likely, especially if the business account is seasoned, meaning you've already had large transactions coming and going. They wouldn't think much of it. First is going to your banker and going into the bank and actually talking to a banker at the bank that you opened your account with and letting them know what you have planned, what you're doing. But if you say to the bank, listen, I have this coming, how should I best set things up so I don't have an issue with the bank and I don't have some kind of problem when it hits? They'll make a note of it. That goes a long way, actually. Communication goes a long way with a lot of these companies. When it comes to crypto, Chase seems to be the most crypto friendly one so far that I know of. I know Chase doesn't have a problem with them. I have automatic buys that go to Coinbase from Chase, and I also transfer money back from Coinbase to Chase sometimes. Are you transacting with a couple $1,000s thinking that you're being targeted by, the powers that be? No, they don't care about you. Do you realize that the Small Business Administration of the government considers a business a small business if it makes under $40 million a year? That's a small business according to the government, under 40 million. So most businesses are small businesses. Of course, my entry was way up here, guys, so that was not a good entry. But what I did do is I actually added, once it got down here, instead of closing it out or taking a loss, my liquidation was a little bit lower than that. So what I did is I added more contracts right about here, and that brought my entry down a little bit. I did not post this in the Discord as a signal because that is very risky, because if this would have kept going down, I would have got liquidated and lost about $2,000. If it would have just dropped down to here, that would have been a $1,900 loss. I'm sorry, that's my stop loss. My liquidation is way down here. I did move my stop loss overnight to under these, and luckily it did not hit it. That would have been about a $600 loss. This down here would be a $1,900. That's why I don't tell you guys to move your stop losses, because that starts to get a little risky. If I would have just closed that trade out here, as soon as it dropped below, that would have been the safest thing to do. That's why, we always say, not your keys, not your crypto. I use Coinbase. I transfer money there. I buy crypto there, but I usually don't let it sit there too long. It's like a public restroom. You get in, you do your business, and you get out. You're not going to hang out in there, right? So if you leave crypto on there too long, and don't get me wrong, I've had crypto on there for years, but I don't leave huge amounts of it there. If you just leave it there and you don't ever do anything with it, you just let it sit there. You're not doing any transactions for months at a time. You become inactive. It goes into like an inactive status. And all of a sudden you have a big transfer in or out. It could block you. It could flag you. So to recap, the system is simple. You use the exchange tools to find newly listed tokens with high volatility, verify them with resources like ICOdrop.com, and get in before the rest of the market, even those they exist. This is how you can generate those massive returns we talked about. Now, if you want to stop guessing and start building real life-changing wealth with a system that gets results, I invite you to check out our Crypto Renegades Mastermind. We work with a select group of people to build a profitable trading skill set in 60 to 90 days or less, and we guarantee you'll make profitable trades in your first 30 days or you don't pay. Now, click the first link in the description to see if this is a fit for you.